Welcome back, guys. Brian Groot here. Today we're going to be answering one of your questions. Thank you again for all your questions. And this one is, how can I weigh 240 pounds and not be fat? This is from a good friend. If you look at him, he's not fat, guys. So there's a couple parts of that question that I want to touch on. Some tips for you. One of them is going to be the exercises. What exercises should you be doing? And then also diet-wise. And then lastly, touching on hydration. Of course, we should be drinking tons and tons of water. I have broken that down in a later video, but pretty much take your body weight, go ahead and cut it in half. That is the bare minimum in ounces that you should be doing, up to 75% of your weight in ounces. So just make sure that you are doing that as well. Let's go and get into it. All right, before I get into the breakdown of this, if you could please hit that like button. It does help me out tremendously, where it puts me a little bit closer to the top of the page. More people can kind of see this video. I know that I'm constantly uploading videos and trying to answer your guys' questions as best as I can. So make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you like any of the content here, and we'll get into it. All right, so for the people out there that are comfortable with the size that they have, and they just want to turn that fat to muscle, they just want to make sure that shirts are fitting better, they look better, they feel better. Some of the things that I like to do is you have to go after strength, because if you can go after strength, you get stronger, you're gonna build more muscle, you're gonna turn that fat into muscle. Now, this is not a short process. Don't think that it's going to be an overnight success. So just keep that in mind as you're doing this. What I like to do is a 5x5. So you start off with something that's relatively heavy. You do warm up. You want to stick to some exercises, some core exercises. So that's your squat, deadlift, overhead press, bench press. And then you could save one day for an accessory day where you're doing some pull-ups, you're doing some arms, you're doing a little bit of everything, but you're trying to go heavy on each of them, going 5x5. So you're doing a exercise that is pretty difficult, and you could only bust out 5 reps. Then the next round, you take a minute or two break. Now you go in and now you're doing 4 reps, 3 reps, 2 reps. And then the last one is 2 exhaustion. You could only bust out 1 rep in that squat, deadlift, overhead press, bench press, or some of your accessory works as well. Real fast, let me rewind a little bit. When you are doing some accessory days, you don't need to go to just a 1 rep of a bicep curl. That one, you want to go relatively heavy. Try and hit maybe 5 reps, something that's going to be to exhaustion, where you're getting very low reps, but you're really straining that muscle and you fighting that, especially if you start to feel that shaking. That's going to be it's breaking down a lot of the muscle fibers, and it's building that muscle underneath the fat, and slowly but surely you will have those muscles appear. So the next part of this is nutrition. And if you want to turn fat into muscle, you can't just work out hard and then eat whatever you want and expect there to be a lot of results. You're probably going to stay the same, maybe get a little bit better with your strength going up, but you're not going to see the results that you really want to in your body. So something that I always coach people up on is trying to figure out, what does this machine of a body feel like when it has very good nutrition going into it, when it's hydrated, when it's able to be, when you're stretching, when you're able to show how can you keep this well-oiled machine going, and what does it feel like? A lot of people are eating crap, not getting enough sleep, not getting enough rest, and they're not stretching, they're not doing enough activity for their body to actually feel normal. So they don't know what normal feels like. So getting to that point to where now you're trying to take away some gluten products, try and stay away from breads, try and stay away from heavy pastas. Instead, go to some jasmine rice, very easy, quinoa, brown rice, even potatoes. They're a little bit starchy, so those are a little bit heavier. Try and not load up too much on that. Sweet potatoes, and then load up as much as you can. Avocados, veggies, anything that's green, load up on it. It will help tremendously. You'll start to see your bowel movements be a lot better. You'll start to see better blood flow in you. You'll feel better. The more greens you eat, and mixed in with some meats, chicken, steak, fish, whatever it is, whatever your taste is, go for it, eat it. But making sure that you're mixing it up and you're trying to eat quality foods. Like to stay on the perimeter of that grocery store. Make sure that you're shopping on the outside, not on the inside. A lot of the inside is all the processed food and that stuff. So just trying to eat foods that are alive. If you eat foods that are alive, you're going to stay alive. All right, Jeremy, so there's my answer to your question of how can you stay 240 pounds and not be fat, is making sure that you're staying to your strategy, your 5x5, trying to do that for 2 to 3 months. I'd probably say start out with 2 months, you'll probably see a big difference, and then go for that 3rd month, and just make sure that you're constantly breaking plateaus when you are doing it. You're doing your accessory work, you're stretching. I know that I have an earlier video in this about certain stretches that you should be doing every morning. Go ahead and check that one out as well. And again, if you guys like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm to where I can continuously grow the audience so that more people can learn, and I'll answer any questions. Raise your standards.